I'd like to take a moment of your time to offer some reflections after our board meeting on September 29th. At that meeting, our board discussed and approved our plan to reopen in-person instruction in the San Ramon Valley Unified School District while still offering a remote learning program for those who choose it. And I know that this information has been received in very different ways by our family. Some are very happy with this direction, while others are upset. And based upon the diversity of views in our community, that is understandable. And because we're talking about our children, it makes sense. And I just wanted to offer a few reflections so that you can know how it is that we are doing our work and what it is that we will be doing next. First of all, I think as we look back to the last number of months, in March, when all of this began with COVID-19 and the movement towards remote learning very quickly. And there were many stresses, anxieties, and challenges at that time. In the summer, it was decided that we would move to a remote model for the start of the school year. And special thanks to our staff for the amazing, exemplary, heavy lifting that has been done. And even though it has not met everyone's needs, it certainly has exceeded most of our family's expectations. And now, as we move from the purple tier to the red tier, we are able to open for in-person instruction. And some of you are wondering, why aren't you ready? And I understand that question. So there are a couple of things that I want to share. First of all, I want to make this commitment very clear. We are opening our schools for in-person instruction on January 5th for those who want it. Well, some of you might say, why should we believe that? And I guess some of you may not until we actually open. And for those of you who felt that the previous board meeting promised October 19th as our opening date for elementary schools, I apologize for that. I had hoped to communicate clearly that that possible or proposed decision was subject to consultation and negotiations. I did try to say that throughout the meeting, but I understand that that has disappointed people, and for that, I am sorry. But going forward, this is what we will do. We know that for you to declare clearly what you want for your child for the rest of the school year, we have to paint a clear picture of what it is that you're choosing. So our commitment is, before you are going to make that declaration on November 13th, which will close on November 20th, we will paint that picture by continuing consultations, finalizing negotiations, and ensuring that we could figure out a number of key items that are still in question. Some of you are concerned about the hybrid model, and you want us to be sure that we make that option as effective as possible because you want to come back to school and you want to choose it. And to that end, we will work with you on that. Some of you have asked, well, why can't you have all students 5 days a week? Why do you need a hybrid model? Why can't you just space the desks apart and allow all of our students to come? Yes, with us being in the red tier, we no longer have to rigidly adhere to the 16 individuals in the cohort. However, we are expected to keep cohorts stable and small, and we are asked to continue to focus on masking and distancing. And that is the work that we're doing now to figure out how might we move this hybrid model as close to, I'll say, normal school as possible while keeping everyone safe. We also know that a concern around the hybrid model is contact with the teacher, your children's teacher, as well as your children's classmates. And once again, we are working creatively with all stakeholders to figure out the different ways to do that. My point is, we understand that for those of you who want to come back to school, you want us to be sure that that opportunity is safe and it is effective. And we're working really hard to that end. Others of you have been really concerned about the concept of interruptions. You don't want to lose your child's teacher. You don't want the schedule to have to be changed. And I'm not sure I can make that promise right now, but please know we are working really hard to try to minimize that. We understand the importance of community. We understand the importance of your school, your teacher, your classmates. We get it. We're trying to figure that out. Others have been concerned that somehow by making any change, the remote learning program that you've come to enjoy will suffer. We are committed to be sure that that doesn't happen. But again, that is taking work as well. So all of this is happening as we speak. Our goal is, as I said, to finalize consultations and negotiations by the end of the month, to declare in November. Any changes that are required can be done in December, and any transition supports that are needed for our students or staff can take place during the month of December before the holiday break as well. I know this seems too slow for some of you, and I do apologize for that. And some of you are worried that we haven't been working or planning or hearing you. We have. I just want you to know that as we work together to get to this place where real choice is possible, we need everybody. So again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience and flexibility, as I've said before. We understand that a phased-in approach is probably the most significant, and even if we have to start in a hybrid fashion in January, it means, I think, should the conditions allow it, we could move to full-time instruction 5 days a week shortly after, if it works, if it's possible. So I think that at this point, I just wanted to share that with you, and my closing remark is this. Whether you are someone who is upset by what has happened, whether you are someone who has questions about how remote learning will be continuously strong, or whether you're someone who has questions and are unsure about what it is that you might do next in terms of your child's education, I'm going to offer opportunities next week and the week after where smaller groups of parents can sign up to speak and to connect with me and for us to have a reciprocal conversation where we just discuss the issues. I'm going to organize those meetings by those who wish that we were coming back now, by those who are really committed to to remote learning, and to those who are just unsure. And I will try to do a number of those, but I'd like to keep the group small, because if it's too big, I don't think we'd be able to have that type of conversation that I would like. So you'll hear more about me. You will hear more from me about that early next week. But again, I just wanted to send this quick message. I'm sorry if it's a little longer than I intended. Please know that we are hearing you. We're working hard for your students. We trust that we will get to a good place as long as we do it together. Thanks, and all the best.